Hi, everybody. My name is Jonathan Lamb. Welcome to the asynchronous version of calculus at Mississippi State this spring. It's MLK Day. I'm making this video out one day in advance of our semester's beginning in hopes to try to get you comfortable with how our class is going to be run this semester. Now, first of all, let me explain to you the difference between this class and the other online class at Mississippi this spring. There is also a synchronous version of this class that has scheduled meeting times. So even though it's also online, you're supposed to meet that instructor, Professor Lumen, online. I think it's 2 hours twice a week. So like I think it's a Monday, Wednesday class, 2 to 4. You'll meet her on online, go through the lesson interactively, and do the assignments. Now, the way my class is I've already created all of those lesson videos and posted them for you. So you don't have to ever meet me throughout the semester. Some of you might like a more interactive class and might want to consider the other class. It only has 8 students in it currently, so plenty of room to add that class. This class is currently full. No one can add it. Now, with that said about the lack of interactivity, by the very design of the class, it being an asynchronous class, please keep in mind, I want to do all I can to help you throughout this class. So I will never force you to meet me online, but I want you to know that I'm here to help out however needed throughout the semester. So use me as much or as little as you need throughout the semester. So if I never get to meet you in person or virtually and you make an A in the class, I consider that a success. The class has done what it's supposed to do. But if you need tons of help and we're on Zoom, 4 days a week and emailing and texting and stuff back and forth to try to get you through the class and it helps you succeed in the class, then again, the class has done what it's supposed to do. I want to be as interactive with you as you need me to be. So please, anytime a question comes up, never hesitate to contact me. Just because this is an asynchronous class, you'll find that I will be extremely quick to reply to any questions that you have, whether it's just about how the class is run or about the content. Now, let me go ahead and share my screen with you to help get you acquainted with how this class will be run. This should be the page that you're watching this video on. This is our class homepage. Once I've created this video, you'll see I put video goes here. You should be watching this video right here. So just as a way of introduction, if I haven't already said it, I am Jonathan Lamb. I'm the lead professor of calculus at Mississippi State. Looking forward to this very fun, and yes, you'll hear me use that word tons of the time. I absolutely love what I do. I love math. I love calculus. I love teaching. I feel that I am very blessed to be in a job that I never regret doing any day. I can go in, whether I'm teaching a class in person or something like this, I do everything with a smile because I genuinely like what I do. And because I genuinely like what I do, hopefully that'll let you see that you're not bugging me by asking me questions. You're letting me do what I enjoy. I like doing math. I like helping people. So never ever feel like you're bothering me by sending me a text question or an email question or joining a Zoom session that we're going to have. All those things are fun for me. And I hope to share that joy of math with you and help make it fun for you as well. Now, many people will find this class very challenging. I've had a lot of people in the past that said, gosh, I was always good and at my algebra classes and stuff. Well, we're doing a different logical step in this class. So we will start off with a pre-calculus review, and then chapter 2 is limits, the underlying logic of the calculus rules that will come up in chapter 3. But this is totally different once we get to chapter 3 with our derivative rules and stuff like that. So it's going to be a step. Just because you've been good in past math classes doesn't necessarily mean that you will be in here, and vice versa. Some of you may have not been great in algebra, and you may find that the stuff in this class really begins to click with you. So hopefully that's the case. No matter the case, know that I'm here to help and make this class go as well for you as it possibly can. So now, please keep in mind, like I said, let me know whenever you need help. Obviously, I can't help you if you don't ask for help. That's what I put right here. Please meet me on Zoom when and if you're struggling. Even though I've designed this class to be as flexible and have no required meeting times, I will be available to help. Make sure you watch the lecture videos. You'll see in the lecture videos, I'll have one video for chapter 1, even though chapter 1 really covers 7 sections. It's pre-calculus review. So I did a general video of pre-calculus review. Takes about, I think I did it in about an hour. Now, obviously, I can't review every single pre-calculus concept that you're going to need in an hour. But you do have an Achieve homework assignment for every section 1.1 through 1.7, though none of the assignments are very long in chapter 1. They're pretty short homework assignments. You won't find the solutions or the explanations to every single one of the homework problems in my chapter 1 lecture video. That's just impossible. Like I said, I can't cover all of pre-calculus in a 1-hour review period. But now what you can do is look at the Achieve homework help videos that I do. The nice thing about the way that the homework for this class is set up is you will go to, and if the information is down here underneath content, you'll go to the Achieve ebook and homework management system. Let me go ahead and do that here too. Underneath content, you'll go to the Achieve book and you click out to it right here. The Achieve assignments are right here. You can see the book right here. If I go on to the Achieve assignments, please notice here, it's going to take me down. This is the first time I've clicked it. That's why it's taking a little while. Yeah. Now, whenever you go in, I would suggest viewing by assignments. And now please don't get confused by, oh, nothing's due this week. I don't have to do a thing. Well, I only set 3 due dates for the entire semester. The training assignment that just gets you acquainted with how Achieve works is due by the end of January, January 29th. And then each of your section assignments, while you should be going ahead and working them, I don't have a due date until March 5th for the vast majority of the early sections. I think it goes through 3.6 are all due March 5th. That's my attempt just to allow you flexibility to work on it heavy 1 week and maybe light another week. I'm trying to give you as much flexibility as I can, but don't be the student that tries to do everything in the last week. It's not going to be to your benefit. You'll end up not passing the class if you do that. You really should try to stay on track. And when you say stay on track, what do you mean? I mean, follow my class calendar pacing guide. So you can see the first week here, this first week, you should be working sections 1.1 through 1.5 on Achieve. So that would be these up here. And you'll see, again, they're not due till March 5th, but you should go ahead and work 1.1 through 1.5 if you want to stay on the recommended pacing of how the class goes. And then the sections after 3.6, you'll see 3.7 all the way through 4.8 are due at the end of the semester, May 1st, which is right before final exam week, which starts May 2nd. Okay, now back to the opening page here. So I was talking about the Achieve homework assignments. The nice thing about what I do is I create Achieve help videos and all of my written work for every one of those. So you're never going to have to work a homework problem that I've not already worked myself. So I strongly believe that I should never ask you to do something that I haven't been willing to do myself. So if you get to a problem in the homework and say, oh my gosh, he didn't go over anything like this in the lecture video, well, it's very, very likely in chapter 1, the pre-calculus review section. But all you have to do is go to the Achieve Help videos that I have, or even the help work, and you'll see a problem just like what you're doing. Your number 1 will correspond to my number 1 all the way through whichever the number the assignment ends. Your number 7 will be a regenerated version of my number 7, and so forth. So it should help out. You'll always have an example very similar to the problem that you're working. And notice I post a scan of my written work and a video explanation. So if you're just looking for quick help, it's probably better just to go to the scan of the work. But if you need an explanation of where that work came from, you go to the video. And we'll go over in detail where all of those are located. As far as contacting me, the email works really well. I get the email sent to my phone, so I can reply really quickly. Also, the cell phone is easy to answer too. Now, typically, I don't answer phone calls if I don't know who it's from. So the first time you contact me on the cell, it's probably wise to go ahead and send me a text first and let me know who you are and what class you're in. I have 4 different classes this semester, so please let me know what class you're in too, especially if you're asking me any details about when a test is upcoming or something like that. Okay, and you can see my Zoom link right here. The Math is Cool Zoom room, because math is cool. I'll be meeting with you on Zoom at 4:30 Monday through Thursday. It's before I start my evening classes there at Pellissippi, so I'll just be in my office. You're also welcome just to come in person to see me in my office. It's Haslam 2057. You could come there and we could go over things in person, or if you want to meet on Zoom, that's fine too, and I'll be glad to help you out. Now, I'll also be able and willing to meet you on Zoom at other times. That's just the time I've set aside for my Zoom sessions to be available for everyone, or be available in the office if some people want to come see me there. Now, let's go ahead and go back to that content page. On the content page, I guess the most important thing here at the beginning is to just go over our course policy sheets, let you know what the expectations are for you this semester. As I've said a few times, I am Jonathan Lamb. The office that I'm in is Haslam 2057. You can see I've listed my cell phone number here and the email here as well, my Zoom link. So a bunch of different ways to get in contact with me. And like I was saying, you can either join me on Zoom using this link at 4:30 Monday through Thursday, or you could just come to my office in Haslam 2057 and see me in person. I'd be glad to help out any of those times, or probably at most any other time that you would need. Give me a day's advance notice and say, hey, could you meet me at such and such time? And the answer is probably going to be yes. Class catalog description. This is our Calculus 1 single variable calculus for students majoring in science, math, engineering, and computer science. And like I said here, or others who just want to have fun. Sometimes I'll get business majors in this class too, just because they love math and they don't want to take the wimpy business calculus class that takes away all the beautiful trigonometry and stuff that this class has in it. This class counts for the business calculus. However, that class can't count for this class. You can always substitute a harder class for an easier class, but not vice versa. This class is the much better calculus class versus the wimpy calculus that the business majors take. But we will be doing limits and differentiation of polynomial, rational, trigonometric, exponential, and logarithmic functions, and do their applications. Now, as far as course materials, This class is participating in the college's DEI program, which helps save you tons of money. Students used to pay, this is over $200, it's like 250 some dollars for our calculus text. Now, instead of doing that, what we do is we automatically, unless you opt out, and please don't, you have to opt in to be part of this class, you're automatically opted into the digital enrollment of our calculus textbook online. And that's where if you just hit the Achieve button or the Achieve ebook, it should take you to the book and to the homework management system. All of that ended up costing you $50 with the DEI program. Now, if you wanted to pay an additional $40, you could get a physical copy of the paperback book. There's no need to do that. The ebook's online, complete. So if you just happen to want to have a physical copy of the book, you could for an additional $40. I've got my, ooh, doesn't show very well, but I've got my, oh, there it is. Ooh, it's a ghost book, but I've got my book right here. I prefer it to be able to flip through and see things quickly without having to go to it online. But that is available for you, $40 in the bookstore if you wanted one. As far as the calculator, and it'll probably show up as a ghost up here too. Nope, yeah, there it is. I've got my TI-84. That's what I'll be using anytime I'm showing you anything with the calculator in this class. There's much more advanced calculators than that, but we really don't want you to have an advanced calculator in this class. We want you to do the calculus, not the calculator to do the calculus. That's why we limit it to the 83 and 84 series, because they do not have a symbolic manipulator. So if you have a TI Inspire calculator with a CAS, the computer algebra system on it, that would never be permitted on any test. So please, check your calculators. If it has the letter CAS on it, you cannot use it on tests in this class. I'll particularly tell our test center administrators to look for the letter CAS on calculators and not allow it if they have that. As far as help resources, I truly hope I'm your first point of contact. I'm very eager to help you out in this class. No one's going to know more about how I want you to work the problems than I do. There are tons of capable mathematicians and people who can do calculus in this world. There's tons of great videos on YouTube. None of those videos and none of those people are going to know specifically what I want you to know in this class. So your best point of help in this class are my videos, my homework, help videos, lecture videos, and coming to see me either in person or virtually. Now, sometimes you need a different perspective. I would hope you would check out our academic support center in that case. They're going to have in-person and virtual tutoring every day of the week, well, except for Sunday, Monday through Saturday. I'll put a link up as soon as they have it. They don't have their link for their tutoring times working just yet, but it won't be long. Our Brightspace page, as I've mentioned a few times, I've worked very hard to make sure that you have lecture videos for every section plus a homework help video. I'll never ask you to work a problem I have not done and explained something similar to myself. I'll also post book homework solutions, the author's solutions manual to the book, and PowerPoint notes for each section. And I'll, again, show you all that upcoming. Attendance, like I've said, this is an asynchronous class. You never have to come to my Zoom sessions, never have to meet me. You'll just be required to take 4 tests throughout the semester at set intervals, and you can go to your grade book and it will show you when the tests are in there, or the class calendar, it shows you on that as well. Now, as far as homework, all of the assignments are on the Achieve platform. You'll also see your ebook there, and there's assignments at the end of each section within the ebook, but you don't have to do those. The average of your Achieve assignments will be worth 40% of your class average. Please keep up with the pace of the pacing chart and be ready for the deadlines and the tests, the testing deadlines, making sure that you've covered all of the material that's going to be tested. That's the most important key. I roughly will have tests approximately every 3 weeks. So you'll need to be ready at the time that those tests come up, and those tests are given over a week time. So you'll have from Monday through Saturday of the testing week to take it in the testing center at your convenience. And that's any testing center. It's easiest for me if you take it on the main campus, but I'll also have the test in every testing center. So whether you want to take it at Division, Strawberry Plains, Magnolia, or Blount County, all of those are fine. I think you'll find the hours on the main campus testing center here at Hardin Valley are about the most generous. Again, if you have any questions, comments, send me an email or text my cell, which is right up here as the best contact methods. Grades, it's going to be extremely easy to determine your grades for this class. You're never going to be left wondering, gosh, I don't know how he's determining grades. Well, it's very clear. Your Achieve homework average will be worth 40%. And the way that you get points on your Achieve homework average, obviously, is every assignment is going to be graded and you have unlimited attempts at every single problem. I could easily show you my Achieve homework notebook from last semester. If it weren't for the names, I can't share the names with you, but I would say 2/3 of my students had a 99% or higher average. So it's set up to help you succeed the way that is. If you run into a problem that you're just stumped on, you can try it as many times as you want. You can watch the video of me working an extremely similar problem to help you get through it. And if at all else, you just like, I don't know, come and to my Zoom sessions and we will work the problem together. If I can see that you've put a lot of effort into a problem and tried it multiple times, I'll work it with you and we'll get it right together. So there's really no excuse for you not having 100% on your homework notebook or very close to it. Each test is going to be worth 15% of your final average. There'll be 4 tests. I'll just use the final exam, which is going to be given. It's a cumulative test. It's basically just summarizes the 4 tests previous to it. It's going to be an optional final. You only take the final if you need to replace one of the earlier test 1 through 4 grades. So if you happen to miss one of our first 4 tests for whatever reason, or do poorly on one of the first 4 tests, well, the final exam is kind of like your little insurance policy at the end of the semester that you can take. And whether it's the first 4 tests or the final exam, you'll see that I'll always post a very thorough practice with my written and video solutions to it to help you prepare for that test. Tests are worth 60% of your grade. Homework's worth 40% of your grade. And the tests, you'll be graded out of 4 of your best 5 grades, each test worth 15%. And I'll just ignore your lowest grade, or if it's the final exam, we won't count it if it's not higher than one of the other 4. Now, ways that you can ensure yourself a good grade in my class. I would highly recommend, despite this asynchronous setup to where it does give you a lot of flexibility. You can work ahead, you can kind of slack behind a week. And so I would strongly encourage you, please don't fall too far behind. If you're more than a week behind, that gets to be very problematic very quickly with us testing every 3 weeks. It's not going to be effective for most students. I always have students say, "Oh, I'm good in math. I can cram at the last minute and be fine." More times than not, I do not think it works. Now, there will be some that can do that, but a lot of students who think they can find out that they cannot. Students who work diligently have essentially no chance of not doing well. Like I've mentioned, with hard work, 40% of your class average could be easily a 100, since there's unlimited attempts on all of the homework assignments and each problem within them. So please, please, and I don't say this lightly, if you're beginning to struggle with any part of this class, see me immediately for extra help. If you wait until the end of the semester, late April, and say, gosh, what can I do to pass your class? Help me out. There's very little that I can do at that point to help. If you don't have the concepts by that time, there's no amount of cramming that can help you out. But if you let me know soon in the semester that you're having trouble, I'll work with you on Zoom. I'll meet you in person. Whatever we need to do to help you through this class, we will do together. You're going to have a bunch of resources available to help you out. Please make sure you take advantage of them to maximize your chances in this class that's typically seen as a difficult class. Okay, now up next, I want to look at our class calendar with you. This class calendar is, like I've said before, this class is asynchronous. I want to give you flexibility, but if you're looking to stay on course and do what you're supposed to do, you should follow this weekly schedule. Now, when I say should, I've put in bold the things that must be done. So this first week, the week of January 17th, you should you should watch my review lecture over chapter 1, the pre-calculus review lecture. And you'll see that I also have blank notes if you want to follow along and print out your own notes and follow my lecture and write those out. A lot of students like to do that, so I prefer, so I put both blank notes and my filled in notes from my lectures online so you can see both. Now, in addition to watching that review lecture over chapter 1, you should work sections 1.1 through 1.5 the first week. In second week, you should watch the 2.1 lecture, and then you'll work sections 1.6, 1.7, and 2.1 on Achieve the second week. And then you'll notice the deadline, January 29th, you must have the introductory training assignment on Achieve done by January 29th. Now, obviously, you should have way more than that done, but that is the absolute deadline for that training assignment on Achieve. And you can see the training assignment is only worth a measly little, gosh, I don't even see it now. Let me go back to assignments. Here we go. The training assignment is just worth a measly little 25 points. And then you'll see the sections in chapter 1 are worth 50 points because they're still shorter assignments. Starting in chapter 2, every assignment is at least 100 points. And that just factors into how much that they count into your grade book. You'll see the more important sections later on, I count 150 points. I don't think I counted any section more than 150 points, but they'll range starting in chapter 2 from 100 to 150 points. In chapter 1, the shorter sections, just 50 points apiece. Now, whenever you do those assignments on Achieve, they should come right after you've watched the lectures for those assignments as well. For the week of January 31st, you'll see that I put that you should watch the lectures and work sections 2.2 through 2.4. So unlike chapter 1, where there is one video for 7 sections, every section after that, starting at 2.1, you'll see a lecture for 2.1, homework assignment for 2.1, a lecture for 2.2, a homework assignment for 2.2, and so forth, all the way until the last section of 4.8. Now, again, remember, there's also separate homework assignment videos where I work every single problem that you're asked to work to, and for every section that you do. Now, most importantly here, you'll see the week of February 7th, I promise you, during that week, I will have a practice for test 1. Well, that's not showing up very well. There we go. I'll have a practice for test 1 posted by the end of that week. So you'll see a very thorough practice test, and with solutions and video solutions by me. Now, Whenever I say it's a practice test, problem by problem, your actual test will be just like it. So if my number one on the practice test is an absolute value inequality problem, your number one on the actual test is an absolute value inequality problem. The problems will never be the same from practice to actual test, but they'll always be the exact same concept. So if I put a problem where I ask you to differentiate with the product rule on number 3 on test 3, then I guarantee you number 3 on test 3 on the actual test would be differentiate with the product rule. It'd just be a slightly different regenerated problem. Similar to the difference between my homework assignments and your homework assignments, you'll just work regenerated versions of my problems. They'll change the numbers, maybe change the scenario a little bit, but the concepts are the same. Now, that first test you'll see is the week of February 14th. So Valentine's Day, hey, but you don't have to take it Valentine's Day. That's the Monday of that week. You could take it the Monday through the Saturday of that week. So from February 14th through February 19th is our test 1 available dates. It'll be in any testing center. And the way that I test is I just put the test in the testing center. You go, you show them your Pellissippi ID and say, I'm here to take a Calculus 1 test for Jonathan Lamb. And they'll give you an unlimited time. Now, when I say unlimited time, of course, you're still limited by whatever time the testing center closes. So if a testing center closes at 3 p.m. a day and you go in at 1:30, you've automatically limited yourself to an hour and a half to take the test. If you go in at 10 a.m. in the morning, you'd have 5 hours to take the test. It's totally up to you based upon what time you go into the testing center and when they close. But now what I wouldn't do is allow you to take it over multiple days. So please make sure you know the testing center's closing time versus when you enter to take any test. Let's see, as far as other things through here, I again, any deadlines and stuff I've tried to put in bold. You'll see I have the due date of March 5th for all of the Achieve sections 1.1 through 3.6. So you have to be done with all of that content. Now, a lot of times students think, well, gosh, that's a lot of sections to be done by March 5th. And then you're only doing 3.7 through 4.8 throughout the rest of the semester. Well, that's because the sections starting at 3.7 start taking a lot longer to do. These first few homework assignments, especially in chapter 1, should go relatively fast. And then starting in 3.7, where we get into our more complicated derivative rules, they start to take longer. So then you'll see test 2 is going to cover all of those sections up through 3.6. So you have to have all of that material through 3.6 done. The week of March 7th, you'll be tested over 2.8 through 3.6. I never test over the same material a previous test covered. So you'll see test 1 covers 1.1 through 2.7, test 2, 2.8 through 3.6. And again, you'll have a very thorough practice test available to you the week preceding the test. And then it'll be the same for test 3 and test 4 at the end of the semester. You can also see at the end of the semester, you'll have the due date for, oh, and I don't think I put it on here, but the due date for all the other material by the end of the semester is May 1st. So sections 3.7 through 4.8 would be due by May 1st. And then your optional final, which does go cumulative over your 4 previous tests, will be in the testing center the Monday through Wednesday of final exam period. And again, just like our other tests, I'll have a comprehensive review available the week before that. Let's see now. Up next, I've discussed how you need to hit the Achieve or the Achieve ebook link. Please go ahead and make sure you do that within this first week and try the training assignment. We want to make sure that your account is linked properly. Now, sometimes I hear students say that when they hit this, it doesn't go to anything. They're like, oh, it just went to that page and then nothing. They'll say it just went to this, your Macmillan content loaded, and boom. You have to make sure your pop-up window is turned off. So if you don't see this pop-up and you just have this page, you want to go up here and make sure that you have pop-ups handled correctly. And I've already got mine to where it allows pop-ups from Macmillan Learning, so no problem on mine. But if for any reason it doesn't load, I guarantee you that's the issue. Make sure you check for the pop-ups, because it does come up in a pop-up. Let's see. Oh, the videos I've been talking about. Please notice I have them sectioned off lecture videos. Here's the very first video you should watch before you start working the chapter 1 problems, and then you'll see a video for every single section after that. So if you was wanting to watch a video for 2.6, you just click on the 2.6 video, and you'll see me go over the content from that section where I talk about it. They should all be on there for every section that you cover. And then after you watch the videos, ideally you should work the homework, and the homework help videos I have here, the Achieve homework videos. So especially as you're working the chapter 1 videos, because I think you'll see that there's a lot of problems in the chapter 1 that I don't discuss in my lecture video. That's again because you can't discuss all of the pre-calculus concepts in a 1-hour review video. But I did do homework problems just like everyone that you will have to do. So you can see through here, eventually, if this will load, there we go. Yeah. I do the videos where it has the question up through here. I try to show you my logic in the video by showing you the work that it took to do the problem, and then showing you how I inputted the answer on Achieve. Sometimes that's the issue. Students know how to work the problem. They just don't know how the problem should be inputted to Achieve. So I try to show you exactly how I type it into Achieve to get credit for the problem. So hopefully that will help out. I'll go back to the table of contents now. And so the videos were here. Let's say, for example, you're working Achieve problems. You're like, I really don't need to see a video of him doing. I just need to see the work. And you can just see the work. So you can see scan of my Achieve work. Whatever I'm showing in the videos in my lecture, I went ahead and posted right here. Now notice I said the assignment for the first chapter sections is not long. That's my entire work for 1.1 was just 1 page, pretty quick. For 1.2, it was, again, 1 page. So it's just point slope formula, it looks like in 1.2, so pretty basic stuff. You can see I put insultingly easy question for number 10. It was just the equation of a line with a slope of 6. Like, ooh, okay. But it gets harder as we go through that. 1.3 gets into your rational functions and stuff. 1.4, I believe, gets into trig, is it? Yeah, well, some basics of trig. Some students are going to struggle with section 1.4. That's the first section I expect some students to have trouble with. Please let me know if and when that happens. Please don't feel that just because you struggle with it doesn't mean you're ready for the class. That just means that you need to get with me and we need to refine your trig skills and make sure you're up to where you need to be before we go into the rest of the class. So you can see that I have these posted for each of those sections in there. You can watch the videos, or if you want to go through it a little bit more quickly, you might just see the scan of the Achieve work. If you want to see the notes that I have as I do each lecture, I try to write out notes. Usually I use a scripted note format. You can see the notes that I use in my lectures by clicking this link, and you'll see where I have the information filled in and stuff like that. So everything's right there. If you ever wanted to refer to it and say, oh, now what was he saying in that lecture, without actually having to go back to the video, you could go to this and see what I'm doing. So that's all posted for you. Practice test, you won't see anything there yet, but that's where I will post the week before we have any tests. So again, our first test week is February 14th week. The week of February 7th, you'll see a very detailed practice test with written and video solutions posted here. After we take our test, now obviously I can't post solutions until the testing deadline ends, but once the testing deadline ends, I'll post the solution to our tests, and I will scan and email you your graded test. So there should never be any question about what you missed and why you missed it. You'll be able to see what I wanted. The blank notes, if you just wanted to follow along as I do notes in the sections. Now, I just showed you where I filled in the 2.1 notes. If you just wanted to see the blank notes to where you printed them out and followed along as I did the lecture, you could print those out. Certainly no need to. They're just there if you want. But keep in mind, the blank notes are there. The notes where I have the written in material is right up here, the notes from lectures. PowerPoint notes, this is what the author did for each of the sections. So if you just wanted to see the author's PowerPoints, some teachers teach with these PowerPoint notes. I find them annoying. And I want to also provide or do all of my own work. I don't want to use the resources provided by the publisher. I would rather do my own work to teach the class. I would feel kind of cheap if I was just using the PowerPoint notes, but they are some pretty good notes. So you might want to refer to those. Your book, while you can always get to your book on Achieve, if you just wanted a very quick scan of your book, it's right here. And I've done them one chapter at a time, and yeah, you can see it starts to load up. So all through there, if you just happen to want to see your book on Brightspace, it's there for you too. And if you wanted to print something out, it would probably print more easily from my scan here than it would from the Achieve website. Might be more difficult. You probably have to print theirs, I'd say screenshot by screenshot, where mine you can just download and print out whatever you wanted. Now, if you wanted to work the problems at the end of the sections in the book, this is not required for this class, but sometimes students say, well, do you have anything else that I could do? Well, if you wanted to look at the homework out of the book, I've posted my book homework solutions too. This would be if you went to the book and looked at the problems at the end of the section. If this class were meeting in person and you didn't want to do an online component, I'd do a book homework assignment. And these are my solutions to that. I thought I would go ahead and make them available for you guys too. But if you want to completely ignore the solutions to the book homework assignments, feel free to do that. That's not a mandatory part of this class. It's just another resource I'm providing for you. Similarly, the book solutions manual is also posted there. That's just the solutions to the problems at the end of each section in the book. For those of you going ahead and taking Calculus 2, you may want to go ahead and save the rest of those. That might be very helpful in a future Calc 2 class if you're working the problems at the end of the sections. Derivative graphing websites, we'll get to that whenever we start talking about how a derivative affects the shape of the original function, but that's just listed here. There used to be 3, and sadly, 2 of the websites are no longer operable now that Flash is gone, but this one is still working just fine. Okay, so hopefully that answers all of your questions about how this class is run. But if it doesn't, make sure you contact me or meet me on Zoom at 4:30 any day, Monday through Thursday, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. I'm looking forward to this being a great semester for you, and I'll do whatever I can to make sure that that is the case.